asked me if I wanted to be part of the Congress National Youth Council, and I went in there kind of blind. And
just a lot of learning. I felt like everybody else knew a whole lot more than me. They all knew what they were doing, and I felt like I didn't really know if I belonged there or not.
Very scary for me the first time. Coming from small PEI where you know everyone in the community, coming up to CAP where there's 100 people at an event and you don't know anyone.
I didn't really know what I was getting into. It was really, I learned a lot. I was taken back. It was a huge shock for me. Culture shock. Like, when they first brought us out, we had to carry out our flags to open up the ceremonies with the dancers and stuff like that, and it was just amazing. And I was not ready to go out in front of hundreds of people representing one side of Canada to the other side. It was really nerve-wracking, but I mean, it was amazing.
My first experience was meeting with the chief and the vice chief of the Congress of Aboriginal Peoples, and so I was kind of just thrown into the deep end.
I got some really good people around me that kept reassuring me, and they would let me ask questions and kind of explain things and say, do you understand this? Do you understand what they're talking about?
what surprised me about going in was the unity of the group. Even though we come from one end of Canada to the other, as soon as we get together, it just ends up being like we're all working as one. That was kind of shocking coming from Prince George, where everybody's on their own.
When I came on with CAP and I started working more with the youth and with the Aboriginals, it seemed like I really figured out what I wanted to do, and that was work with youth at risk.
Had a really good experience, had a really good time, and then I got serious with it later and decided that this is how I was going to start to make change.
You can't make someone be involved, you got to want to be involved. You got to be willing to take charge of that change.
I'm not old, but sometimes I feel old, and when I talk to young people, I want to be like, you know, when somebody says to you that the world is your oyster and anything that you want to do, you can do. That is true. I didn't believe that when I was a young person, but that is absolutely true. So there's barriers, but there's people that you can reach out to. There's friends, there's family, there's resources and things like that you can access that can really help you to become a doctor, to become an astronaut, to cure cancer or something, you know what I mean?
Being in CAP has helped a lot, mainly for its leadership role. Coming from PEI, yes, it had leadership, but that was leadership of maybe 10 youth. Wasn't really big, so to say, but having that leadership role of every decision you make can potentially affect everyone across Canada, it made me think all my decisions through, and that's helped me in my job career a lot. Before I do anything now, I think, like, it's gonna sound funny, but 7 generations ahead, what will people in the future think about the decision I'm making right now?
Started out as an automotive mechanic, and from there my boss noticed that I had some people skills, some management skills, and he gave me a shop to run for 2 years, and then he gave me another shop to run after that. I turned both companies around and made them into both profit-making ventures where they were a loss before.
From where I was years ago as a teen, I guess, to where I am now, I see the change, and I've definitely grown a lot.
I want to go back into school so I can either go back into political studies or go into business administration, because someday I want to, like, my turn will be where I will eventually run one of the organizations, whether it be CAP or be my local PTO.
Ginano, Jimishkanano.